What was never in doubt about Trump and the election in 2020 and the run-up to January 6th and the aftermath, if you want to disregard all the hyperbole that you might find in the mainstream media about all of that, all of the topspin that you might condemn someone like Rachel Maddow for, all of the errors made on MSNBC and elsewhere and were never corrected, right? Forget about all that. There's something that was never debatable because it all unfolded in plain sight. What was never debatable was that we had a sitting president who simply would not commit to a peaceful transfer of power in the event that he lost the election. Okay, that alone was so shocking, so unprecedented, so corrosive to our politics. That's all you need to know that we were facing an absolute emergency. If you can't follow that part of the plot, I don't know what conversation there is to have on this topic. We had a sitting president who claimed to have won the election when votes were still being counted and called for the vote counting to stop. If you can't recognize how abysmal that situation is and how worthy of contempt Trump was and is for behaving that way, there is nothing to talk about, really, from my point of view. There is no extenuating circumstance that makes sense of that. And of course, that behavior was of a piece with everything he has done and we knew he would do and may yet do again, right? I mean, that none of this was a surprise. What was so surprising was that so many people tolerated it, enabled it. And what soon became clear was that Trump and his enablers were doing whatever they could to steal an election that they claimed had been stolen from them. And of course, this is a problem that now many people are worried about in 2024. Obviously, there's an investigation of January 6th, and there will be a lot of information forthcoming. But there is nothing that will be found that can change the character of what has already occurred. The lying about the election has never stopped in Trumpistan. And we know it is lying because it happened before the election. Trump claimed the election was illegitimate before it had even occurred. But again, everything for me is contained in his unwillingness to support the most basic principle of our democracy, which is the peaceful transfer of power. And we did not accomplish a peaceful transfer of power. And so on that score, the events of January 6th really are the most shocking thing to have happened in over 200 years in the United States.